Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into our second game of today. It's going to be the German derby, plus a little bit of British action thrown in there as well from Man 2. Oh, and is that Austrian flag? Am I good with my flags? It is Austrian flag. Okay, we've got Chris K is also Austrian. There we go. I know something, which is nice. But we're going to have JDC. He's been a man who's impressed me so far in MDL, although the victories definitely haven't been going the way of Expert. They have still shown that there is something behind this team, and so far in the pistol round, it has gone fantastically well. They have taken themselves the first, didn't even have to use any of their utility, and I don't know, Scriv, if you've watched too much of Expert, but I have been pleasantly surprised that they managed to put 9 rounds on the CT side versus Valiants before they did then get spanked. But they almost managed to take a map off Movie Star Riders. And every single one of their games, except maybe I think a match versus fours or something like that, has been very close to within the league, but they just haven't been able to take any over the line. So they're a team I hope survives in MDL and manages to go into next season after the practice. But at the moment, they do sit dead last, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it has been a bit of a tough one for them. Like you say, just some kind of unfortunate results. They have the potential, but maybe nerves, maybe, some desperate, some miscalculated calls end up costing them games. But like you say, a pretty decent start here, and alternate attacks. Probably a team that they've played a great deal of, maybe even played with some of these players, with them all pretty much being German. And I think that certainly can make a difference in the head-to-head matchups. But they are going to have to get off to a good start, I feel. This is a really good map for alternate attacks, honestly. Expert, definitely not, foreign to it, but I feel like if they can't get the double digits on this CT side, it's going to be pretty difficult for them.
Yeah, no, I think that they definitely really struggled versus, well, I suppose I've got to call them crazy now, on the T side of this map, only managing to get 1 round, and it just seemed like they got completely outgunned. I have to say, from what I've seen so far from this team, JDC and Andy are the 2 players to be highlighted on the expert roster. And on the other side of things, probably Cressy and Man2. Like, Man2 had a absolute stunner of a game when he played Train in the best of 5 final I witnessed versus the Vikings from Denmark. Already, dude, the IGL, going to be looking to get aggressive. Takes that first pick, using the AK to his advantage. And remember, the CT side, bonus round not so effective for them anymore. Oh, unlucky for Skrunk. He doesn't check the close angle. Catches Man2, but dude's still there to trade. Chris? Or Chris K. Don't kiss Chris. Is up above, but he's been caught as well.
Yeah, maybe he should have gotten away with that one. He kind of had the drop on Cressy, but unfortunately not quite able to capitalize. And yeah, I think maybe too much of about. Sure, they have the AWP out, but it's kind of like they need to maybe get a little bit more. I guess if there's more pressure towards the outside bomb site, a lot of nooks and crannies you can kind of hide with the SMGs and things. But I think they didn't have as much long range power as perhaps they wanted. And that just kind of allowed, sure, dude gets his 2K, but it's very difficult for them to trade from, those far away angles. They have to get in the face of the Ts, and it just doesn't work out. So maybe a bit too cheeky, a bit too disrespectful with it, and an alternate attack's just going to come straight in, and this could be dangerous early on. Sure, they're able to save that AWP across, but it's going to be a less than brilliant buy for the expert side coming into this one. Actually going to get 2 AWPs out, so that's certainly interesting. Skrunk just going straight in onto the glass cannon. And definitely, I think Train is one of the better maps for the double AWP setup, but this is very, very expensive, and I mean, if they lose this one, alternate attacks are going to be able to get off to that early start that we kind of said Expert needed.
This is aggressive. A quick push coming out. JDC up close is only going to manage to get himself 1, but he's chimed in with Chris. However, Slacks is in with a trade. Yet to see Slacks get on the AWP. That's where he definitely has his best performances, but ultimately, so far, they haven't really had the chance. Skrunk will be there with the secondary this time, but even still, they've still got Preet only with an SMG. Chris has to be careful around these angles. The bomb's already managed to sneak quite far into the site, and Stefan's gonna be the one to peek out. Gets it first. The second is Chris so desperately low on HP, so he can't really afford to face into anything here. And more worryingly, just look at the position of Dude. He's sneaking his way all the way around. Is Chris gonna realize? Nope. That'll be an easy kill for alternate attacks. Utilizing the map control, and now well, 1v2 MP9. Should be a weapon for him to find, but if he does pick it up, likelihood is his opponents are going to hear it.
Yeah, for sure. This is a very, very difficult one for him. No information at all to work with. Seemingly going to try and go for it, though, as he comes up on towards the bomb train. Or if there was no smoke there, could have had the drop, but Dude, you know, playing it safe around that smoke. In goes Preet, and down goes Preet. It will be a little bit more of a costly one, I suppose, for alternate attacks, but they are happy to get this quick 2 rounds on the board, and probably the lead along with it. Should be a 3rd round for them here, and off to a good start on the T side. If this momentum, you know, keeps shifting back and forth, they will be happy with that going into their CT side for sure. So looking good for alternate attacks early on. Expert, though, it could be one of those games. I like the, you know, the full save, because it could definitely be one of those games where it is just a simple case of they have to buy up, but they are never able to get out a strong buy on the CT side. And we see it time and time again that CT side's just never able to get a grasp of their economy, end up losing the game because of it. Nice little off-angle, hidden angle from JDC. Drops the bomb, I suppose. But of course, immediately traded, and the lack of weaponry now that the CT side have, the 50 was their strongest. It will most likely be alternate attacks taking the round. They're taking some more damage here.
Yeah, the rest of the angles are going to be a little bit more difficult to clear. Chris, maybe in with a chance to drop the AWP of Slacks, but the smoke holding him out. Looking for a gun, but there isn't one to be had. I think Slacks is the only real player that may be able to go down here. I think the rest of them, it's going to be a fair bit more difficult. And he's looking to get away as soon as possible. Doesn't want to give the bomb the chance to finish him off. And, well, in terms of weaponry, there isn't that much to be found. Obviously, there's the one gun that was dropped by Dude, although I don't know if that's something they could actually find, and Chris just going down to the bomb anyway. So nothing really gained, just a 1 kill. And the T's already starting to build up a big bank of cash. And for the CT side, it is going to be a glass cannon or Brandy. The rest of the team able to buy up quite comfortably, but the expense of that AWP is enough to leave him weak.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was talking about. Sure, they, you know, have the buyout, but some players sacrificing utility, glass cannon AWP, no kits. They need to find early advantages in these rounds, because the retake's definitely not going to be going their way. And Creek does so. However, Dude is feeling confident right now. Barreling through his own Molotov, picks up a kill, gets the bomb down. Been a couple trades in the meantime. Deep nade's going to go in, and it won't finish him off, but Chris doing a great deal of damage, obviously getting that kill, but also onto Cressy. Makes this retake look a lot more doable. It is now a question of time. Chris, though, just spamming through. He knows the angles. He knows how alternate attacks are liking to play this one. But Stefan, yeah, I mean, you know, this Molotov could make all the difference. There is a smoke available. Going to put it out. Another Molotov going in. But the time ticking away. He finds one. He hears the tap come in. Misses the spray down. But is that going to be enough? Oh, I think this is going to be so close. They aren't fancying it.
They don't have it.
And that will be the round.
Yeah, enough. They kind of needed to stick the bomb. I think that was the main problem. Just needed to hold on to it in that scenario if they were going to have any chance of winning the round. But yeah, alternate attacks probably going to be having a bit of a laugh about that one. A little bit too close for comfort, and we are going to see a tactical pause called in. But the fact is, the CT side, well, I wouldn't be overly surprised if they went for a purchase in this one. Can get maybe an SMG or a FAMAS on one of the players and could drop that AWP back over to Andy to give him a proper buy. Or just have him maybe invest into a Deagle, and then they can look for a couple of round buys anyway. But even still, that's not the sort of way you want to be having these CT sides going. You want to build up a streak of rounds, get yourself rolling. That was what was so successful versus Crazy when they played a week or two ago. So we'll have to wait and see if there is going to be a step up. But it is going to be Andy. Handed that AWP. We'll chuck a weapon back. And well, now let's see if they can actually do anything with this mixed bag buy.
And I mean, this is it. This is what I was saying. Sure, they're getting the buys out, but life is difficult. Good deep nade, though, certainly could make the difference. In comes Andy, in comes JDC. Picking up two from E-Box. Sure, Mantu trade one back, but ultimately to no avail. A very quick round actually goes the way of Expert, maybe because alternate attacks were not expecting, I suppose, such a strong buy considering how the rounds have been going. So definitely catching their opponents off guard. A little bit of disrespect from alternate attacks, just kind of a couple flashes and go running out of T-mid altogether. Clumped up, it works out. And that will maybe give the room to Expert, actually. That would have been the round, you know, where their economy truly broke down. However, they end up winning it. So backs against the wall, and they're able to turn around, break the wall down, and create themselves some more room.
Yeah, and for the T's, a few pieces missing. Dude going to be the one to take the hit. Fairly common occurrence within this alternate attacks roster. He is in there to lead and not so much for his fragging capabilities. But he has had a decent start to this game at least. They've already managed to gain themselves some solid pop dog control. You can see it's more being given up at the moment by the CT side, but maybe to their own avail as they're giving a bit too much space over alternate attacks for them to actually execute. Cressy caught in the corner. Smokes now start to rain in as we do see the rotation pulled, but the T's are already right in towards this site. Great start though from the CT side. Chris chimes in with another, but it slacks to at least trade. However, his teammate is lost in the meantime, and he's now left into a 1v3.
It's going to be tough for him. Needs the 4K overall. The bomb in the hands, kind of the CTs. I suppose they know where it is and can probably at least attempt to deny him control of it. I think he's in two minds of whether he wants to go for this or not. Ultimately, though, sees the clock, sees there's not enough time, going to have to back away and save. And yeah, just to kind of touch on, you know, what you were saying, like a lot of room given to alternate attacks there to pull out that execute, but they do very little to bait out early utility, so Expert are just able to easily answer back, you know, with nades of their own. And I'm sure we all caught in the kill feed, there was a good 2 or 3 flash assists coming in on those kills, so I think the fact that they don't bait out any utility, there's a great number of, you know, Molotov smokes, flashes still available. Expert are just able to be like, okay, we'll let this execute happen, and then we'll kind of counter-execute and just pick you apart, and that's exactly what happened. Also, on top of that, they get to save a bit of cash because they're not using all their utility coming into this next round, so pretty good stuff from them on this kind of turnaround in the first half.
Oh, get out. Andy's just going to ruin Slacks. Finally starting to see something out from this man with the AWP. 7-2 at the moment, so although they haven't been winning too many rounds, he's still been pulling things off. The AWP is going to be retrieved at least, saved from the previous round, and handed over to Cressy to give it another try. Ivy control also challenged by alternate attacks. They really don't want to allow a streak of rounds to be picked up by Expert. They don't want to give them the opportunity to build up finances, but this is where I want to see JDC. Again, this was what was so successful versus their opposition previously, versus Crazy at least. It was just this man playing within the pop dog. The thing is, though, this smoke Molotov combo is actually fairly effective because to avoid the Molotov, he has to hide in the smoke, and that gives Dude the chance. That is really smart. I like that move. It's going to give the opener, give a weapon into the hands of Dude as well. And Stefan now going to pick up another. This is starting to get dicey for the CT side. The Tech 9 with one more and another all picked up for the T's. It leaves Andy and Preet to try and save this. And alternate attacks looking to steal around away.
Might just be able to do so. I mean, that bomb is in a bit of an awkward spot. Preet almost running out of ammo. He's going to be pretty damn low here, moving into the final few seconds of this round. of not quite making it to Stefan in time. He's now the only one left. They know vaguely where he is, and he will end up falling. So, yeah, alternate attacks able to steal that one away, and I think that's kind of the issue when you've got that double up setup. As soon as you lose one player, you know, they lose that guy in Pop Dog, thanks to a very nice play. You know, again, you highlighted it, and it was pretty perfect to just catch that player off guard completely. But they're able to, you know, eliminate a rifle, and then suddenly the pistols get in the faces of the AWPs, and the round just falls apart, as it can so very often when you're against those pistol buys. And yeah, I think a pause definitely in order. That is not a round you should be losing. And with how close some of these rounds have been coming, the money just about all the way down, and they're not going to be able to afford a full buy, really. You know, Chris is on 2K. Don't think anyone had any money to drop him anything, so he's going to be demoted onto something a bit weaker for sure.
That's a painful hit, but at least they do have themselves a purchase. It's not a great one. Utility fairly lackluster, and actually the T's throwing a bit in themselves. Maybe going to go for one of these faster pushes once again, but Ivy control seems to be the aim of the game. Still 2 AWPs in play, so... Oh. Okay, we're just avoiding smokes now. Cressy just straight through manages to kill off Chris, and well, at least he was the pistol player. That's the only real positive from that situation. Skrunk's still here. They may not expect the double AWP setup at this point. They've left a very aggressive Andy. Now, this is a position that you will not see most AWPers play, mainly because it's insane. But I have seen him do it and pull it off before, and even get an ace with 3 bullets in a game the other day. So he definitely can make it work. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be pushing his way. In fact, it's a 4-man Ivy stack for the T side.
Certainly interesting. This could go very well. It could go very wrong. There's no one really directly there. The distraction play coming in as well. One is not quite enough from JDC. All his teammates going to fall as well. Maybe if he'd have waited a bit longer, maybe a flashbang comes in for him, but unfortunately not going to happen. Andy will be the only one left, and he's got some control in the brown halls, I suppose. But unfortunately, no one was there. They were all at Ivy, like we mentioned. So he's just going to look to save, and alternate attacks kind of straight back into things now after winning that that force buy round. Previously, they will, you know, regain their lead. They will look to extend their lead, and Expert, once again, the economy is going to start to escape them. And I think alternate attacks might just be able to, you know, pick up 7, maybe 8 rounds because of that one force buy round that they won. So it is certainly a difficult time for Expert, that's for sure.
Yeah, the problem is, I think the difference between this game and what we saw versus Crazy just a week or so ago is they managed to get their economy rolling. I believe it was based off a force buy, but I can't quite remember. My memory's not perfect. But they managed to get their economy to a really good point and then won something like 8 rounds in a row. Like they just really got things going. This game, they've had a perfect... I don't even know if they've had a perfect buy. Like it's sort of been dicey. They may have had 1 or 2, but every time they've maybe had an AWP, or they've had 2, but then they've had an SMG, or they've had a Deagle. And they've never had situations where they could just really hold things off. The other problem is as well, is we've now started to see like players like Cressy getting pretty sick opening kills. Dude as well has been doing damage in Pop Dog, which was one of the positions they were really able to dominate, mainly in the form of JDC. The other thing as well is JDC, although he's having an okay game, he's been relatively quiet, and Andy's kind of been avoided. Like, we're in round 10, they have 4 rounds, or we're in round 11, they have 4 rounds, he's died 3 times. So somewhere along the line, he's just been saving, which is understandable, but that just means you need to get this guy in the right spot, and somehow he just managed to do, like, 40 damage off an AWP hit. That must have been through quite a few different things. He's now burning to death. This has gone completely wrong. And alternate attacks, well, they just wiped that round. Didn't even look like they had to put in much effort.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that the AWP doesn't survive and doesn't even get a kill is just kind of, you know, again, pretty dire, because it's going to allow alternate attacks to build up a pretty strong economy coming into the latter stages of this first half. Really looking good for them. I mean, they can, you know, stomach a loss, so to speak. Going to go for a very early execute. I think this is quite smart, given that, of course, there is going to be a buyout, but again, it's not ideal. Also, you know, the confidence of Expert. It's rounds like these where you start to maybe make edgy calls. Big nade coming in there onto JDC. That must have hit him right in the face, as he'll be tagged down to 42 HP. The smoke's going to begin to dissipate, and out goes some of the attack, at least. Mantu will eventually fall, but Dude is in for the trade. Andy doing work on the AWP, something that we've not seen maybe from him in a few rounds, but he's picking it up. However, it's still this 3 versus 3, and they do have that double AWP setup once again. As the gap closes, life becomes harder and harder for those 2 AWPs to actually find any kills, any damage at all.
Oh, Skrunk. He might be able to just win them the round. The push through the smoke is enough. 2 kills, and Dude's the last one left in no man's land. It is a bounce back. Andy with a big part of it, and I think that is a big point to make. If he's in the right place at the right time, this team looks decent. If he's not, then they seem to be torn apart, and we haven't seen the same out of JDC. He hasn't been able to do too much. It's mainly just been 1-for-1 trades. He's just bought a Bison. Okay, that was clearly a misbuy. He bought a Bison and a UMP, and then all he had left was enough to buy Kevlar. So I'm just watching the Bison and spawn, so you're going to have to commentate the rest of the round. So I want to see what the Bison's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. We'll see what the plan is. Going to start, like, firing on its own. Start kind of spin botting around. Even if it was, I mean, like, it's not going to do any damage, really.
No, it would do none. There's no one close enough. It would have to shoot through walls, which is unable to do with the Bison. Luckily, Skrunk has a gun that's very slightly better, which is the AWP. And he's already going to be able to get the opening pick. And I think the AWPs really are just the be-all and end-all of the defense at the moment. Push in, and he's been spotted. They have the information. Stefan also going to be tagged, and Skrunk's just caught another one. He lobs out the stepping stone for Stefan. Chris K is going to be spotted, but still manages to win the duel. And Man2 looking to wrap around will also be caught by Skrunk. So different 3Ks for different AWPers. But Expert starting to get back into this a little bit.
Yeah, and, you know, I think early on, those AWPs have been a problem. It seems in the past couple of rounds, they definitely step it up individually. Alternate attacks maybe giving them a bit too much room. Playing this one pretty safe as well, going for the half bike as Stefan and Slacks, I guess. Not really enough money. However, Mantu being fairly rich will go for the AK and still buy up into the next round. So looking to do some damage, maybe get a bomb plant in this 14th round. Make life easier going into the final round of the half. But I would say 7 rounds already is pretty damn good on the T side. Don't think we're going to see Nuke a great deal in league play, so it kind of does, you know, edge towards the most CT side of basketball, at least for the foreseeable future in the MDL. Good couple kills coming in for Expert. However, you know, these B rushes on train can really be effective to at least get the bomb down. The question is, can they hold on to the site in this 4 versus 3?
Well, double AWP setup, definitely not the best for the retake, but any retake or any map retaking, I'd like it to be train. And still, they remove another one of the rifles. Slacks looking to do work up close. Stefan spots the head of Skrunk. That's another man lost in the fight. And left onto Andy to at least turn things back. Knows that there's one close, but actually just walks straight past him. And that's going to be enough for another kill to come in for Slacks. Andy kind of has to go for this now. Doesn't manage the kill. And Slacks with a triple back himself. May even die to the bomb. In fact, he's saved by the timer. 8 rounds on the T side for alternate attacks. And once again, the CT side money, it's going to have some holes in it.
Yeah. Again, they kind of lose another round that alternate attacks had no right in taking. It is painful. It is difficult to stomach. It seems that, you know, they fall flat to the aggression, maybe try and answer fire with fire, and just end up getting burned, is the case often often is, honestly. So we will see here whether they can do the same and kind of steal one away. I suppose they've still got that double up setup, but it's the Deagle, it's the severe lack of utility, and the no kits that they have at this point in time. It's certainly going to be a difficult one, to say the least. But we'll see. Alternate attacks. I mean, again, it's already been a good half. It has now become a better half. Can they make it a really good half? Ooh, that flash is so good. I mean, Cressy eventually becomes unblind, but Chris, lucky and smart to kind of check it again, I suppose. Will find the opening pick for his team, gets his hands onto an AK, and that could be the lead that they need to carry them through this round.
Yeah, it's an upgrade as well in weaponry, but here comes the execution onto the B site. Preet already going to be forced into the open left, burnt and blind, but is given some time. He'll peek back for a double and leave just 2 Ts remaining in this fight. Make that just Stefan. A 1v4 flank coming in from behind. He's stuck. Pretty impossible position. At least has the bomb. Chris K up above him, and he's not going to be able to kill him through the bars. 8-7, as close as the game can be in terms of scoreline, but problem is they were on the favored side. Now we have to see whether or not Expert can rectify the problems they had for the other week versus Crazy. I will say Crazy definitely a better team, like in terms of individual prowess at least, and that was a lot of what we were seeing. Like Esperanto had a good game, was able to just break down any sort of T aggression. At the same time, though, when I watched Alternate Attacks play at the Sportal Global Finals, Mantu was just ridiculous. Like, he was just going super aggressive, taking control, taking fights, popping heads. He had a silly scoreline by the end of the first half, just from the level that he was able to get away with. So it'll be whether or not he tries that again and whether or not Expert are able to quell it if he does, because that's sometimes the problem. Like it seems that individually they have some decent players, but if they come up against someone with a higher skill ceiling, they do seem to find it hard to handle.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be the case. But we'll see. Moving on to the stronger side, Alternate Attacks. I would say, I mean, with the prowess of the AWPs that they kind of have available, it does favor them, but you never know. Expert, I'd say the T-side pistol is a little easier, honestly, especially, you know, again, with that aggression you can pull out towards B, but there's also the Ivy option, and it seems they're going for both of those initially. I think the Ivy players are a bit more of a distraction, as you can see the bomb ultimately looking to make its way over towards B, but maybe they're just trying to, you know, fake things out. Obviously, there's the Pop Dog rotation that can come in. And just drawing some early rotations. It has been kind of successful. The CT's definitely, you know, on their tiptoes, so to speak. In and between Connector at the moment are a couple players just unsure of which site it's going to be.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be anything behind the decoys for the T's. Like, you do see some teams, if you see that many decoys purchased up, maybe goes for some fake smokes. Just, like, throw them out, try and maybe bait in rotation, because you can still hear the bounce of the nades as if they're a smoke. Unlikely to really do too much, but we have seen some success from it in the past. The fact is, though, otherwise you just sort of wasted the money. So by the looks of it, JDC might be about to use it as some sort of fake flash, which, well, nobody dare. Now they're just going to opt to barrel out on towards the site. CTs are here. Aggression out from Cressy as well could make things interesting. In fact, he's going to be the one to get the first and second kill of the round. Hasn't even taken any damage as well. Wraps around for his third. And while this is looking all too easy for Cressy, 4 kills. 9th round on the board for Alternate Attacks. And what a way to kick off his CT side.
Indeed. I mean, kind of stepping it up, he'd been a bit quiet, so good for him, you know, to get the ball rolling. We saw a very similar case in the previous game where Crucial was a bit quiet, stepped things up, and just took control of that second half. So you never know. The good start could be kind of the catalyst that begins the great half. But all the same, Alternate Attacks will be happy to pick up the pistol and extend their lead. Completely shut down Expert without a bomb plant with 1 kill, I think. So, you know, not going to be anything coming into this round. In the next round as well, if they play their cards right, it would be, even for the T side, a fairly weak buy, lacking in that utility once again. But as you can see, Expert are in the camp of, right, let's go towards B, let's try and get this bomb down. Alternate Attacks, meanwhile, are savvy to the fact. They know, you know, that this B bomb site can be vulnerable to the bomb plants, and they've rotated a good couple of players across relatively early, and a good few kills coming in as well. So I think this bomb plant pretty much out of the question now.
Yeah, a strong read and a somewhat expected one. I'd be surprised if Andy's even able to get away with a kill. And it was more just who could hunt that final eco frag to get themselves the cash. 10-7, Slack's probably just going to buy straight up an AWP. And the rest of the team, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just keep the SMGs, used as a bit of a bonus round, and then buy into the next comfortably anyway. But this could be the real... Well, this is the moment for Expert. This should be the, not freebie round, but the easier round. If they really struggle with this one or even lose it, I think the game might slip away from them.
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty difficult, you know, that some of these key swing rounds, if they don't go your way, they can decide the way that, you know, the battle ends up going. So I guess we'll have to see. But all the same, I mean, it's not terrible, especially because, again, alternate attack similar to Expert way back when. Cast your mind back to, you know, the first rifle round of the first half. Maybe keeping a few too many SMGs for my liking. You know, I think Train, it kind of goes both ways, but especially with the prowess of the Aug's pretty damn good up close. I get the idea because it's like, you know, you save the money if you win, you've got extra money. If you lose, you can still buy up into the next round, whatever. But you don't really want to be giving Expert any kind of opportunities to take control at all. And up against 4 AKs, the Galil can definitely, you know, fight against these SMGs. This is a good spot for it. And it will work out. Stefan kind of, you know, making me eat my words, of course. We'll manage to find that first pick. And again, I think the nervousness kind of setting in. Chris doesn't even attempt to trade. He's going to try and get a later frag, and I just don't think it's going to work out for him.
Well, already looking like a bleak scenario as one by one the T side fall, and this is going to be a massive monetary boost for the CT side. They get to upgrade all of their, well, nearly all their SMGs. Dude's going to keep one for farming's sake, but it does mean that basically they haven't had to buy almost any of the rifles that they currently own. They have a chance again to make some cash as the T side just won't have any money. And all in all, this is looking like a pretty done situation. The Expert are going to have a big turnaround from here. More worryingly, oh, this might be another loss added. And also, Attacks have not had the best run themselves, but wins like this could be enough to keep them safe within the MDL at least. I don't think there's much chance of them challenging for playoffs unless they do really have a big step up from here on out for the remainder of the league. Currently 8 games played, only 2 wins, so quite far down at this point. But you never know, if they go on a ridiculous winning streak, there's still a chance. Even still, kill or 2 coming in from the T side is not bad, but just look how much money there currently is for alternate attacks. This is not going to harm them at all.
Yeah, that's kind of, you know, the risk reward that you go for in that bonus round. And obviously holding on to many of the SMGs in that round to earn some more money. So yeah, they are fairly comfortable for I'd say 2 losses. They can definitely afford, but obviously that's not in their mind right now. Some interesting dry aggression. Mantu hoping to get the drop on his opponents, but like you say, it's something that he likes to do, and maybe even, you know, kind of helped win a tournament off the back of it. So Andy ready for it. Cressy with the fadeaway headshot. We'll bring it back into a 4 versus 4, however, and at least gain control of T-Con, and inadvertently gains a bit of control towards the bomb. However, he's not going to press forward. He's just going to play it safe, drop back. So the T's kind of avoiding disaster slightly. If he'd have discovered that bomb, you know, it really could have made the difference in all honesty. Stefan, the Molotov, it actually reaches him. It's pretty much perfect to clear out the forward angle. That will cost him a fair chunk of HP. Obviously, the position of Pop Dog and I suppose a bit of utility to go alongside it. So Expert trying to come into this round with a bit more strategy, a bit more depth. And I mean, it is kind of working out, but still a 4 versus 4 with 40 seconds left. It is going to be difficult for them to find the overall control.
Yeah, the more worrying prospect is it seems that the CT side actually have the right read already. 2 players here. Molotov a little bit late, so they are going to be out onto the site, but Slacks has the cross. Nice shot from Preet, at least, to keep things even. Andy holding off on the connector as well, which... Actually, how does Stefan get away with that? A dry peek out. Finds Andy, a missed shot for the man on the AWP. And now this is just going to be them getting picked apart. Skrunk left 1 versus 2. Does a lot of damage onto Cressy. And actually both players low on HP. There's a chance for him here. He's going to look to try and wrap around. Going to get towards the bomb. They don't actually know where he currently is, even bumping into each other. This is a chance, but again, it seems like Stefan is surely going to die peeking into the angle. And he finds himself the kill. Seemed like the stars were aligning for Expert in order to take that round, but instead Stefan stubs them out, and it's going to be 13-7. The lead continues, and alternate attacks get ever closer to closing out this match.
Indeed. So, I mean, Expert kind of almost tasting victory in that round, getting very, very close, but it is just not their day again. You know, it seems to be close in the first half. Unfortunately, it's kind of the wrong half to be bringing it close, and they are just not able to pick up the pieces, and you've got a feel for them. Stefan picking up 2 quick kills, almost the third. It's actually Cressy to steal that one away. But the round's pretty much over, and it sums up the point I was going to make before they went rushing out. I think they are just looking, you know, broken and beat down. Unfortunately, the morale not really doing so well. When you're already at the bottom of the league, it's kind of like, well, I mean, what's the point in putting our heart and soul into this? It's not really going to make too much of a difference. Maybe it's just not our season, and that seems to be the way that things are going. Again,
I hope they're not thinking like that, because that's a great way to get relegated.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I imagine, like, I think I agree with the point that maybe in this match, but I think overall there's definitely still a lot for Expert to fight for, and going back down from MDL would be a pretty big step down. There's still a chance for them to fight versus good teams, and they've come close. I think the big thing today is JDC. Like, JDC was one of the best performers in the other 2 matches I've watched them play.
Right.
And in this game, he was severely underwhelming. Like, he has been very quiet. Normally on the CT side, he dominates in Pop Dog, or at least in the game versus Crazy he did. In this game, he has been dead silent. Slacks, well, it's a shooting range. This is a chance for him to just flex, get those stats up. And there is JDC, and 90 as well, at least managing to combine for a double, but Cressy back in with a quick frag, and oh, nice shot from JDC. This would be a time to light up the server. Even still, it's back into the 1 versus 1. Cressy gonna get the smoke down. Looking to get the defusal, but Preet hits the timing, and that's going to be Expert onto the board. Some good individual skill shown from JDC. Maybe hearing my words and looking to try and step up. I hope he can't hear them, because I'm pretty sure that's cheating. But yeah, much better. He's been evidently quiet and steps up, and they managed to get themselves around. 14-8, pause called. Buy comfortably will come back in for the CT side. They've still got lots of cash available, but every bank can be broken. So there's a possibility for Expert to still drag this back.
Yeah, there definitely is. It is a long, long road ahead. 8 in a row if they want to take the victory. I suppose 9 in a row overall, but yeah, I mean, they go for the A rush, it doesn't work out. They go for the B rush, and it does eventually work out. They've forced the issue in a couple rounds, and you know, that 50-50 play kind of pays off eventually. Better a bit sooner than maybe expected, but I don't know. Now going for another Pop Dog, you know, fast play straight into the face of the CTs. Surely eventually they're going to have to be, you know, prepared for this, and the T's kind of playing themselves. Cressy going to catch 2 off guard. He will eventually get taken down, but he is enough of a distraction to buy time for the rotation. Slacks gets the final 2 kills, and yeah, I think just if you're going for the rush plays, inevitably you are going to leave some angles unchecked. In that round, it was Cressy, and he plays his part perfectly. And it will be the match point coming in for alternate attacks. Expert, unfortunately, again, just looking, even despite winning that 1 round, just wanting to get in the faces of their opponents and hope that they can brute force their way through. Maybe if it had been working in the majority of the half, you could give them the benefit of the doubt to keep going for it, but 1 round is not really enough of a success rate to keep trying to go for it, and it's just given the opportunity for alternate attacks to close the game out perhaps earlier than maybe it could have been.
Yeah, Cressy, I'm pretty sure, has gone from 6 kills in the first half, now up to 21. Someone I mentioned at the beginning of the game, and, well, he's having a sit game. Will be closed out in this one, but I think this may be all she wrote. Scrunk and Andy to try and save this for Expert. But they've got so much left to do. Peeking back out. They will hear the man around the train actually spot out dude and get the second as well. Good work from Scrunk. He's given them a chance in this 2 versus 2. But Andy's still left with only a scout. They've got to be careful. Pop. It's not under their control. This is interesting. Andy is pretty much playing for the after plant. This is kind of weird. I think he's expecting them to come in from behind, but there's so many more angles that need to be checked. They're going to know where one of these players are now. Scrunk has to be careful. Slacks is looking to hold in with the AWP. Stefan also just sat back, still not making a move. It's almost turned into a 1 versus 1 between Slacks and Scrunk, and Slacks is going to be able to win that one out. It's left on to Andy with the scout. Needs to do something impressive here. He's going to have a chance in this round. Flashbang thrown out. They have a pretty good idea as where he is now. Smoke already going to be thrown in as well to try and deny Stefan, but the push through should be enough to close this. And alternate attacks are going to take themselves the victory. It will be 16-8. Not a particularly close affair either, as alternate attacks looked dominant.
Yeah, I mean, going into that CT side, I think they had enough momentum to really just take the game into their control completely, deciding, all the pace and Expert, like I kind of said, just disheartened, a bit broken. The CT side looked good in places once that double up setup started working out for them, but it was just a case of losing control of the economy early on. It took them a bit too long, I think, to get the ball rolling, and then the T side just started off poorly and kind of got worse. So I think Train definitely needs some work for Expert.
Yeah, I think also some quiet performances definitely didn't help. So gonna stick it out at the bottom of the board, and alternate attacks get themselves ever closer to survival. And speaking of survival, the next game is gonna have to be a heroic effort, as we have got the Zako Boars facing off against Vitality, one of the top teams in the league, winners of ECS, and they're going to be fighting up against one of the bottom teams within the league at the moment. So a tough performance, maybe a tough game to watch, but we'll be back anyway after the break to bring you that battle.